Hello, and thank you for visiting the STOICS Method website. Now, since you're here, I have an important question for you. On a scale from 1 to 10, how well would you say that you manage fear, frustration, anger, and anxiety? Just take a moment to think about it. On a scale from 1 to 10, well, anything less than 10 means that you can improve on your self-leadership skills. What is self-leadership? Self-leadership means having a developed sense of who you are, what you want, and what you're willing to do to get there. It also entails being able to influence yourself and influence others. As you can see, it's quite a complex set of skills. Self-leadership is probably the most important quality that you need to develop as a private person and as a professional. The importance of self-leadership has been stressed since antiquity, when the great Greek philosopher Socrates said that in order to lead others, we must first be able to lead ourselves. Hello, I'm STOICS, and for over 20 years now, I've been coaching and training top professionals all over the world on how to move from fear, frustration, anger, and anxiety to a place of calm, confident self-leadership. In essence, it means inner freedom. This is really my magnum opus. This is my 20 years experience working with thousands of people around the world and trying my exercises on them. So you know that there's a lot of quality in this book. There's a lot of essence, and this works. The exercise in here work. I can guarantee you that. And you can read the testimonials, how my clients feel about that, how CEOs from all over the world rave about my technique. Now, as I explain in my book, the major aspects of self-leadership are clearly designated through the 6 exercises. I'm going to explain to you just a few more things you need to know about these 6 life-transforming exercises.
First, I'd like to share with you a little of my story. I was the daughter of immigrants, Greek immigrants, to Montreal. And my parents wanted to connect with my history and my heritage. So while other classmates were getting bedtime stories like Cinderella and Sleeping Beauty, my parents would read to me from the Iliad and the Odyssey, the Greek myths and Aesop's fables. Fast forward, I'm 22 years old. I've come back from London, where I studied international banking and finance, and I'm working in a big British bank. My career seems promising. I have a big office and a big paycheck. On the inside, though, I feel horrible and frustrated. Why? Because I feel that my natural talents are not matched in the bank in this career. I'm a people's person, not a numbers person. And sometimes I tell my father about this, who was the CEO of a bank, and he would tap me on the shoulder and say, "Dear daughter, life is very difficult. It's okay to read philosophy and psychology, but stick to your safe job and your paycheck." So what did I do? I carried on, and I felt like a hamster on a treadmill. I start to make mistakes at the bank because I'm unmotivated, and all these mistakes culminate into one big mistake, where I'm called in to do a presentation in front of the board of directors. Now, I do the presentation, but I feel terribly embarrassed. I didn't do a good job, not for my standards, not for the standards I know I can deliver. So at the end of that day, I face my biggest fears and I hand in my resignation. Did things go better after that? Of course not. They got a lot worse. First, I had a very big argument with my father, a dramatic Greek-style drama argument, where he said to me, "You're making a terrible mistake. You're going to live to regret it." He ousted me out of the house and said to me what amounts to an ancient motto the Spartans would say to the soldiers going off to war: tan iepitas. In other words, come bearing your shield as a victor or dead on it. What did I do? I had no plan. I just took any savings I had and I just took off. I had a backpack and I started walking. I started backpacking through Asia Minor on my own. No plan at all. I continued trekking, joined up with other groups and ended up trekking through Europe. Eventually my money ran out. So I had to take a job. Any job would do. Low-paying jobs. I was waitressing. I was a sales girl. I saved my money and tried my own businesses, but they failed and left me without any money. I was ready to go back to my father. I had to lower my head. On the bus, going to buy my ticket, something very strange happened. I was sitting next to a lady on the bus, and she said to me, she was a management trainer. She was training executives in communication. And she said that she had a big problem because she had to replace herself at that job. I explained to her that I would be very happy to do that job. And we spoke, and basically she hired me on the bus. She said, show up tomorrow, you got the job. That's what I did. I showed up at this great management training company. I started giving classes with managers. My students said that I was really talented at what I was doing. I felt it was a great match for my talents. So I had finally found my place in life.
Now, as I promised in the introductory video, I'm going to give you a short summary of each of the 6 exercises. The first exercise is how to make well thought out, balanced decisions that you won't regret. In other words, you're going to be certain that the decisions you make are the right ones. The second exercise has to do with mastering your own thoughts. Wouldn't it be great if you could manage your own anger, frustration, and anxiety? The third exercise has to do with formulating your personal mission statement. You know, there's really no leader today that doesn't have a personal mission statement. And it's high time you created your own. Now, if you already have a personal mission statement, that's great. But through this exercise, you can improve it and make it really much more clear and much more impactful. The fourth exercise has to do with programming our subconscious mind. Now remember, this course has integrated the latest knowledge about neurology and how the mind absorbs information and takes instructions. So this exercise is going to be particularly useful for programming your subconscious for the results you want. The fifth exercise has to do with creating your own future vision and plotting your course with the adequate flowchart and milestones that will get you there. That exercise is so powerful, it works like a GPS for getting you to the destination you want. Sixth exercise has to do with influencing others with ease. This exercise is founded on the great system of Aristotle that was created over 2,000 years ago, and it's still taught in the major universities all around the world. Wouldn't it be amazing to give yourself all these wonderful skills, these practical skills that will completely transform you as a person and as a professional? So altogether, these 6 transforming exercises are what you're going to need to move from a place of fear, frustration, anger, and anxiety to a place of calm, confident self-leadership. In essence, this is freedom, true freedom, which is on the inside. Unshakable freedom that nothing from the outside can harm you. You will be able to face all difficulties in your life with certainty, calm, and inner freedom. And isn't that exactly what you want? So go ahead and click on the cover of my book, From Fear to Freedom, and you'll land on the Amazon sales page where you can purchase your book. Thank you so much for watching.